versus Abbas Magomedov. I've gotten a lot of flack for my pick on the not a lot of flack actually. I'm lying. I'm actually lying. No, it's not this fight. For a surprising reason, I actually thought a lot of people would be going with Michel Pereira. To be honest, and I'm seeing even in the comment section for the short, I have a couple of shorts on my, not a couple, like I have thousands of shorts on the channel where I basically give you the statistics. So there are a lot of people who are picking Abbas Magomedov, which is surprising to me because in my head I was like, no way anyone is going to agree with my pick, right? And surprisingly, a lot of people are actually feeling like Abbas Magomedov is going to actually win. Especially, I think it's largely because of Michel Pereira's last performance against Fluffy Hernandez. Um, and I don't know. When I picked Fluffy Hernandez, I actually picked Fluffy Hernandez against Michel Pereira. A lot of people were calling me a casual, they were calling me stupid. No, running a channel is crazy. You do so much for free and you're still trash. Anyway, so a lot of people didn't think Michel Pereira could lose because of his explosiveness, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say I felt exceedingly confident in Michel Pereira's ability to actually, what do you call it, to actually lose, or rather, I didn't feel confident in Anthony Hernandez's ability to actually get it done, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and act like, yeah, I knew, I was confident. I wasn't. I wasn't, but I saw a couple of things that showed me that Michel Pereira would actually lose that fight, and I called it. He actually lost. And obviously, now in hindsight, Fluffy Hernandez is a future title contender, so maybe that wasn't a bad loss, to be honest. So it's kind of hard now to actually determine how good Michel Pereira is because Fluffy Hernandez is quite literally a title contender. Like he needs maybe one more win, and he's probably going to be fighting for the title. So, so saying he lost to Fluffy Hernandez is not an insult. Like it's like saying, "Oh my God, you lost to Habib, or you lost to Hamza Chimaev." I mean, that's not an insult. Like, why would that even be an insult? Because you lost to a good championship caliber fighter. It's the same as, cause at this point, but there's no way Fluffy Hernandez is going to beat Hamza Chimaev. But imagine if Fluffy Hernandez goes on to become a champion. That loss would have aged really well for Michel Pereira. But at this point, we don't know. But irrespective of what Michel Pereira was gassed in that particular fight. He was horribly gassed. Um, that's not a good sign. I mean, on the other hand, Abbas Magomedov does not have the best gas tank, but most recently, we've seen an improvement in Abbas Magomedov. He no longer just decides to strike. He no longer just decides to go crazy in the first round and have no cardio left in the second round or third round, right? We've seen improvements in Abbas Magomedov. He's a little bit more calculated. If he's fighting a striker, he's going to try to wrestle them. If he's fighting a wrestler, he's going to strike with them. So we've seen an improvement in his IQ. We've seen an improvement in versatility in his fighting abilities. He no longer just strikes uncontrollably like he did against Sean Strickland. And he was winning that fight up until he gassed out, to be honest. And if he didn't gas out, he would have knocked out Sean Strickland, right? So because of that, it's kind of hard to pick Michel Pereira because the best information that you can use to predict a fight is the previous fight that particular person had because there isn't enough time to improve in between those fights. It's a couple of months. So the last time that Michel Pereira lost, let me actually check because this will be very important to see how good he can improve his cardio or anything like that. So I need to actually check how long ago this was. When Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Like he lost in October 2024, right? The end of October. So basically, basically November, right? So it's not enough time to actually say, well, I have the best cardio on the planet. You can't say that, right? But at the same time, it's 3 rounds. It's not the main event and the 5 rounds. And Abbas Magomedov has shown an ability to get hurt because, but at the same time, I mean, Abbas Magomedov fought Bruno Ferreira, if I'm not mistaken. And Bruno Ferreira has shown an ability to actually knock out people not quite easily, but he's been knocking people out left, right, and center. So that's actually quite impressive on Abbas Magomedov's end to be able to ward off what do you call him? Bruno Ferreira. Let me actually check and stop saying things that I'm not sure of. Yes, I was actually right. He actually ended up submitting Bruno Ferreira, right? That's actually impressive when you consider the fact that Bruno Ferreira has been knocking people out. Let's actually check how many knockouts Bruno Ferreira actually has. Yeah, Bruno Ferreira has 10 first round finishes in total. He has 9 knockouts and 4 submissions. So the mere fact that Abbas Magomedov was able to submit Bruno Ferreira is a feat on its own because this guy has 10 first round finishes and 9 knockouts. So basically, this is Michel Pereira, a bigger version, I guess, of Michel Pereira. So, in all honesty, now that I look at how much finishing ability Bruno Ferreira had, it makes me a bit more confident in Abbas Magomedov and his ability to actually win this fight. Although he was in a bit of tricky situations in that particular fight, but he still found a way to submit a guy with 10 first round finishes, 9 knockouts, and 4 submissions. That's actually very impressive. And that win aged well because Bruno Ferreira just recently came from a knockout win. So it's not like he beat someone who had given up on his career. Like he beat someone who was actually trying to win, right? So let's break down the actual fight. Volume, Michel Pereira throws a lot more volume, but I would assume it's going to be in the first round, maybe the second round. But the second round, I assume, is going to be a lot less. What might happen after the loss, Michel Pereira might be like, you know what, let me be a little bit more calculated. And that's going to be the worst mistake you can make because Abbas Magomedov is going to pick him up, right? So it's either Michel Pereira comes out like he always has, try to get the finish, get gassed by the second round, and lose the fight. Or alternatively, fight smart and get picked apart. But the fact that he was able to get to a decision with Anthony Hernandez says a lot, man. Even though his cardio was terrible, he didn't get finished. And Anthony Hernandez knows how to find finishes, right? So that's also something to consider. I don't think we should hold the decision lost to Anthony Hernandez against Michel Pereira, to be honest, because the mere fact that he didn't get submitted by Fluffy Hernandez, it should be a win, and especially in a 5 round fight. I mean, I think he deserves a little bit of credit. And like I said in the beginning, we might be criticizing him for losing to a future champion. We don't know, you know? And there are people who've lost before and eventually became champions, like Charles Oliveira, people like Bilal Mohammed, people like Islam Makhachev is a bad example because he lost once. But still, there are people who've lost in the UFC and then overcame adversity and found a way to actually rise to the top. Maybe Michel Pereira can do that. This is why this is a risky pick for me as well. My subscribers went with Michel Pereira. I went with Abbas Magomedov. I just feel like he's fought a similar type of fighter in Bruno Ferreira, someone who has the grappling and submission abilities, someone who has knockout power. So for me, it's Michel Pereira is like a bigger version of Bruno Ferreira. I don't. I would even argue that Bruno Ferreira is a little bit more aggressive than Michel Pereira. So as far as output, obviously Michel Pereira has more output. It just comes down to how he's going to come out in the first round. He might be a little bit more measured because he lost this previous fight. He might be a little bit more wild because maybe he's seen something in Abbas Magomedov that he feels like he might be able to exploit. But defensively, I think Abbas Magomedov is better. Not by a lot, but I think he's better. Offensively, as far as volume, I think Michel Pereira is a little bit better. Not by a lot, but a little bit better. Finishing ability, I think both of them are finishers. Um, Let me actually check how their finishing rates are. So Abbas Magomedov has a 70, 78 finishing percentage. This can't be right. According to the UFC, Michel Pereira has a 57% finishing rate. Oh, 67. Okay, that makes sense. So, as far as finishing ability, it seems like Abbas Magomedov has a higher finishing rate, man. Surprisingly. But that doesn't really matter as much because some people improve when they get into the UFC. For example, the muscular lady who beat the only Belbita, she had a low finishing rate, but she got into the UFC and she's able to finish it right now. So low finishing rates right now, I guess, do not matter as much. You just look at the most recent performances and you can judge based off of that. So, but when we talk about who's going to be able to finish the fight, I mean, Abbas Magomedov can knock him out just the same as Pereira can knock out Abbas Magomedov. So I think that's also going to make Michel Pereira a little bit more careful in his approach in this particular fight because he knows the other guy can do to him what he can do to him. So, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a decision. But I feel like Abbas Magomedov has some type of an upper advantage. Let me actually check the grappling advantage. Yeah, I think Abbas Magomedov will have the grappling advantage. I think he throws more. He has better takedown defense. He has better takedowns, to be honest, between the both of them. The only advantage I'd give to Pereira is his submission abilities. I think not just abilities. I feel like he's constantly trying to find a submission. So that's maybe and on the ground. That's the only advantage I'd give to him. But he's still good. But if we're comparing the two, I'd say Abbas Magomedov is going to be better on the ground, both offensively and defensively. That brings me to the end of this breakdown. Let me reply to you guys and bounce. Um, so my subscribers went with Michel Pereira. I went with Abbas Magomedov. Um, Let me see. Rooster. You think Smith and the China guy ending with a KO? Yeah, it's possible. I actually didn't highlight that. It's possible. It depends on Anthony Smith's takedown defense. If he has none, then he's going to get knocked out in the first. I mean, not Anthony Smith, on Ming Yang Zhang's takedown defense. If he has a good takedown defense, it's going to knock him out in the first 2 rounds. If not, he's going to lose a decision. Shoshot McGee, Abbas, I'm with you, man. Shoshot McGee, the strikes better and 100 times better wrestling. Michel Pereira just a better athlete. I agree. Shoshot McGee, I can't hear you, brother. All better. Oh, sorry, I didn't. I should start to read comments a little bit more. Shoshot McGee, Michel is the only person with worse cardio than Abbas. I agree. Shoshot McGee, this will be the best the first round ever and maybe the worst the third round ever. Quite possibly. Um, uh, what's this? T Swiss. Who y'all think will be the main event for Atlanta in June? I don't know, man. To be honest, I don't want to lie to you. I don't know. Guys, I'm so tired. I've broken down 3 fights for today. If you just missed them, go to the live section and you'll find all my breakdowns. Um, Join me every single day. I break down every single card, every single fight on every single card live. So even tomorrow, today I just finished breaking down 3 fights. Go to the live section and watch them if you want to watch them. And tomorrow I'm going to be breaking down Monday to Friday. I break down fights, every fight. It doesn't matter where it is on the card. I break down every single fight on the card. Usman Buckley, T Swiss. Apparently, what do you call him? Shawshot McGee thinks it's going to be Usman versus Buckley. That would be a good card. Um, Let me see who's this gaming. Duggar. I don't know how to read that. Do you know this song called? Okay, you were trying to troll, it didn't work. Anyway, to everyone who's just joining me, sorry to repeat myself to everyone who's been on the stream. I stream every day, Monday to Friday. I break down every single fight on the card from early prelims to the main card. So if you want to join me, just check my channel regularly. I schedule my breakdowns ahead of time if you want to join me live. You don't have to join me live. You can always watch the breakdowns anytime on the live section of the channel at your own time. So I just got finished with the first 3 for today. I'm going to break down the other 3 tomorrow. So thank you to everyone who joined me. Man, you guys are starting to join me live more and more every week. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm about to bounce. Let me respond and so I can leave. Joshua McGee, that shit in my playlist. Wow. Do you like that song? No, I hate it. Listen to it for rage fuel. Okay, guys, I'm leaving. I love and appreciate all of you. See you guys tomorrow. Breaking down fights is a lot, but I enjoy it, but it's a lot. Anyway, deuces.